everyone and welcome to the Shadow Realm. Today we're going to showcase my first place Tri-Brigade Zoodiac Deck Profile. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Also, there are links in the description if you want to support the channel directly. Now without further ado, let's dive right into the deck profile. We'll start things off with the 40 card main deck. We play 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Fractal, which is the best starter of the deck. All the Tri-Brigade monsters in the main deck can banish Beast, Beast Warrior and Winged Beast monsters from the graveyard in order to special summon Link monsters directly from the extra deck. Fractal has the added effect to send himself from the hand or field to the graveyard in order to send a level 3 or lower Tri-Beast to the graveyard. Next we're playing triple copies of Tri-Brigade Kid. This is the second best starter of the deck, since when it's sent to the graveyard, we can send another Tri-Brigade card to the graveyard, usually going for Tri-Brigade Nerval, or if you choose so, you can send the Tri-Brigade Oath to negate a spell or trap effect. Next we are playing triple copies of Tri-Brigade Nerval. This is another great starter for the deck, since we can link it away with Almiraz and send it to the graveyard in order to trigger his effect. When it's sent to the graveyard, we can add a Tri-Brigade monster to our hand, usually going for the missing combo pieces that we need. And for the last main deck Tri-Brigade monster, we play double copies of Tri-Brigade Keras. This is an amazing extender, since we can use its first effect to pitch another Tri-Beast monster and special summon him on the field. That usually allow us to play through hand traps if our opponent decides to use Infinity Permanence or effect failure on another Tri-Brigade monster on the field. Next we have the Zoodiac package of the deck. We play a single copy of Zoodiac Whiptail, a copy of Zoodiac Ramram, a copy of Zoodiac Ratpier, and one copy of Zoodiac Barrage. Zoodiac Barrage is a great extender that allows us to play through several hand traps, while Zoodiac Ratpier is the main combo starter of the package, usually sending Zoodiac Ramram to the graveyard and overlaying into Chakanine and dumping several Zoodiac materials to the graveyard so we can special summon powerful Link monsters with the effect of the Tri-Brigade package. Now let's move on to the rest of the main deck monsters. We play a single copy of Eddie Crow and one copy of Alpha, the Master of Beasts. Depending on how many monsters are banished through the effect of the Tri-Brigade monsters, these cards can be searchable through the effect of Shurake, the Ominous Omen. Diddy Crow can be a great hand trap, especially against decks that want their resources in the graveyard, while Alpha, the Master of Beasts, can be a great threat, especially when going second, and can easily bounce cards to your opponent's hand. Also keep in mind that the effect to summon him on the field is not once per turn. Next we go into the hand trap lineup. We play triple copies of Fast Blossom and Joy Spring. This is a generically good hand trap, especially in the mirror match when we can hit Fractal and similar cards. The card is great against Sadol Invoked and Prankits matchups as well. Next we play the Psyframe package, triple copies of Psyframe Gear Gamma and the one copy of Psyframe Driver. This card is amazing to ensure that your combos will always go through, because usually you pitch Fractal in an empty board or use Tenki without having any monsters on the field, meaning that you will always have the chance to chain Gamma on your opponent's ass, making sure you can continue with your plays without any other interruption. Next we play triple copies of Fire Formation Tenki. This can be an amazing searcher for the deck, since we can search either Fractal or one of the Zoodiac pieces that we are missing. The card is essentially 6 copies of Fractal and 7 copies of any of the Zoodiac pieces that we need. And as I mentioned before, it can be a great as Blossom bait if you have Frame Gear Gamma on your hand. Now let's see the last 3 spells that we play in the main deck. We play a single copy of Called by the Grave and 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. I chose to main deck the 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet since we're not always guaranteed to go first, and this is a great disruption against many combo boards. Also you can chain it to the activation of your Revolt and always get much more value out of it. I'm also main decking the single copy of Called by the Grave since we want to be able to deal with Artifact Lancia and Gospel of the Haunted Mansion. Next we're playing triple copies of Tri-Brigade Revolt. This is the heart and soul of the deck, since we can summon any number of our banished or in the graveyard Beast, Beast Warrior and Winged Beast monsters, and immediately after they are summoned we can special summon any of our powerful Tri-Brigade Link monsters from the extra deck. And since our monsters will be sent to the graveyard, we can chain block their effects, preventing our opponent from interacting in any meaningful way. We're also playing triple copies of Solemn Strike. This can be an amazing card either going first or going second, preventing our opponent from activating a powerful monster effect or dealing with a special summon of a very powerful monster from the extra deck. But when I know I'm going second, I usually side out this card for some more hand traps or for some back row removal like Twin Twisters. And if you don't want to play too many traps in your main deck, you can just play Pot of Desires instead. For the last hand trap in the main deck, I'm playing triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. The card is really impactful, especially in the mirror match, since you can negate the effects of the Tri-Brigade monsters that are trying to summon monsters from the extra deck. It also has the added bonus to negate a spell or trap in the same column if you were able to set it on your own turn. And lastly, we're playing a single copy of Imperial Order. This can be an amazing floodgate because it prevents our opponent from activating spell cards, and it means that we're ensuring that our back row and front row will usually have to deal only with monster effects. Now let's go into the extra deck. We play a single copy of Salamangreat Almiraz. The main reason we play this card is so we can link off our Kit or our Nerval in the field, so we can activate their effects in the graveyard. Next, let's go to the Tri-Brigade Link 2s. We play a single copy of Tri-Brigade the Barren Blossom and one copy of Bearbroom the Rampant Rampager. Bearbroom is really great since it allows us to search for Tri-Brigade Revolt, while Tri-Brigade Barren Blossom allows us to special summon from the hand any of the Tri-Brigade monsters that we need, while also drawing a card and putting a card back into the deck when it's sent to the graveyard. Then we play a single copy of Ancient Warrior's Oath Double Dragon Lords. This card can be special summoned with the effect of our Tri-Brigade monsters and allow us to bounce back a monster back to our opponent's hand by sending a card that we control or in the hand to the graveyard. For our Link 3s we play a single copy of Tri-Brigade Rugal, the Silver Seller. This card is mandatory in the deck since it allows us to play through back row removal. If we have Rugal and Revolt set on the field and our opponent tries to destroy our Revolt or banish it with Cosmic Cyclone, we can chain Revolt and special summon Sureg the Ominous Omen. During our opponent's main phase, Tri-Brigade Rugal can revive back a level 4 lower Beast Warrior Winged Beast monster from the graveyard and activate the effect of Sureg to banish a card on the field. Next we play another great Link 3 monster, Harvester the Desperate Doomiggle. This card can shuffle as quick effect one of our opponent's monster in the graveyard back into the deck, and if our opponent controls no monster into the graveyard, this card attack is doubled. This effect can be very handy, especially if we're going against Invoked that need the resources to the graveyard in order to banish them for the invocation. Also, we use this card alongside another Tri-Brigade monster to go into access code and close the game. Next we play 2 copies of Tri-Brigade Surag the Ominous Omen. This card is amazing and one of the best extra deck Tri-Brigade monsters. When special summoned or another Beast Warrior or Winged Beast monster is special summoned to the field, we can banish a card our opponent controls without targeting. Also, when sent to the graveyard, we can search for another Beast Warrior or Winged Beast monster, depending on the amount of Tri-Beast monsters we have banished already. Another great Link 4 monster that we're playing is Apollousa Bow of the Goddess. With a random amount of extenders, we can make Apollousa turn 1 alongside another Tri-Beast monster to protect our back row. And the last Link 4 monster in the deck is one copy of Access Code Talker. This card can be great to close games and allow us to destroy cards an opponent controls without them being able to respond. If you can't afford a copy of this card, I highly suggest you playing a third copy of Sureg the Ominous Omen or a copy of Omega. Next we have the Zoodiac package in the extra deck. We play a single copy of Zoodiac Trident, Zoodiac Tacanine, Zoodiac Borbo, and one copy of Zoodiac Tiger Mortar. This package is pretty much self-explanatory and the main reasons that we play Zoodiac in the deck. We use Trident, Tacanine and Tiger Mortar to send many materials to the graveyard for our Tri-Brigade combos, while Zoodiac Borbo allows to go easily into Zeus so we can wipe our opponent's field. Moving to the new format, I would change the copy of Trident for a copy of Omega. And of course we're playing the single copy of Divine Arsenal AA Zeus the Sky Thunder in order to wipe our opponent's board. And now let's move on to the side deck. We play a single copy of Dino-Restral Pankratos. I personally love this card because we can special summon him for free when we're going second, while also being able to battle with problematic monsters like Winda and being able to tribute himself to destroy a card on the field. Since we have a very spell heavy format, I play double copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. I usually side out the copies of Droplets for these cards alongside the Imperial Order. This card will be really great moving forward, especially if Sky Strikers become a threat. Next we're playing triple copies of Artifact Lancia. This can be a great card, especially in the mirror match, because we can prevent our opponent from banishing cards for the rest of the turn. Also we can use it in a defensive manner, especially if our opponent plays evenly matched or cards like Cosmic Cyclone. It can also be very useful against decks like Dino or PK. Next we play the biggest turn stopper of the format, Droll and Lockbird. This card can be amazing, especially against decks like Drytron or Dragon Link, and can also shine against rock decks as well. And lastly, we side back row hate, we play triple copies of Twin Twisters. This card puts a lot of work, especially against decks that rely on the spells or traps like Prank Kids and Sandal Invoked. Usually they want to activate their effects in the main phase, but we can chain Twin Twisters in the standby phase so we can deal with such problematic cards. And the last card we play into our side deck is triple copies of Nibiru, the Primal Being. This card can stop the explosiveness of decks like Dragon League and Prankits, and can also deal with rogue decks in the format. That's why I always try to find space for this card in the side deck. And that basically wraps up today's deck profile. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for similar content like this. Also, if you want to support the channel directly, don't forget to check the links in the description. Let me know in the comments down below what deck you enjoyed the most in this format and what deck you're looking forward after the July ban list. Till next time, stay safe and I will see you in the Sad Realm.